What is going on, Daily Dose with Patience? We got a great one for you today, man. We got my man Nicky.Cass or Paul Montgomery or Pasquale. I don't know which character you're in right now.
Right now, I'm just being me. But, fellas, if we want to go Paul Montgomery, we could do that.
We
Okay.
got them all in the chat
We got
today.
them all. Yeah, they're all in the tank. I could fire them off whenever you want.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I don't even know, what to classify or what you would classify yourself as: comedian, TikTok star,
I like to
influencer.
say I like to say Instagram comedian. I feel like it rolls off the tongue nice. I don't like the whole TikTok star. Like, to me, I don't know. I'm just being myself out there, and I'm just happen to record whatever it is I got going on. So I don't like to use the term influencer. When people ask me, I say I'm in social media. That's what I
Right,
say. I do
right.
social media.
Yeah, TikTok could have a, bad rap on the name when
Not,
some of the people are at the top.
listen, not a bad rap. I'm very grateful for the fact that I was able to get started on there, and without that face filter, none of this would happen. So not so much of the stigma. It's just like I don't want to be put into that box of like, oh, that's what he does. He makes TikToks. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, and TikTok is a wide variety of all different types of videos. You got videos like yourself, you got videos of people dancing, you got videos of all kinds of things. And I came across you on my For You page, being from Long Island. You're a New York guy. I'm an
Yeah.
Italian guy. You're an Italian guy. I'm sure you've popped up on half the people's pages from Long Island, us Italians
Yeah,
out here.
probably. That algorithm really, tailors the content to what it is you got
Right.
going on in your life. It's crazy, but yeah, a lot of a lot of people from Chicago too,
Is that
in
right?
Canada. Yeah, Canada is like one of those sleepers, and so is Australia. Apparently, there's a
Wow.
lot of Italians in Australia.
No way.
Yeah, no, crazy. It's like nuts. Like a lot of they call her grandmother Nona, like all that sort of shit. So yeah, it's really been cool to see like the effect of what my videos have been able to, like, the audience that it's been able to reach.
Right, yeah. And I'm pretty tough on, what kind of comedy I like and what videos I like. And once I saw your video, it was just so authentic. Like, your shit is so spot on. Like I said, being from an Italian family, it just like hit. I'm like, I can relate to that shit. Like, you're so on point with it and how you
I
go
appreciate
about
it.
it, going back and forth. You got to tell me though how this all started, because this was like more of like a COVID thing where you really popped
Oh
off,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, 100%. It happened during COVID, but I've always been one. I was always like the funny guy in the friend group, always. And this has really been something that I've been doing pretty much my whole life. Like, I played baseball my whole life. And in between, like, while we were stretching or on the bus or anything, I was always like the entertainer. And I always did like the, hey, how you guys doing? Like,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
always do that voice. And it was the funniest thing. Like, I always found comedy in like the things that you experience growing up in an old school Italian household. So I was working in a gym a year ago at my old school, and that's when like the app was first like getting started. Like, that's when TikTok was really coming up, and like I remember I was sitting there for hours just like scrolling at night. I get into bed at 11.
Yup.
It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm still scrolling on the For You page. I'm like, what's going on?
You don't even
But
realize it.
yeah, you don't even realize it, but it's genius. And so all my boys were telling me like, yo, you would probably do like really well if you started making videos, because I also would do stuff like that on my Snapchat, just like people who I knew, and there was no filter, but I would like do sort of like the same style stuff. Like, I remember one time I did like how to make chicken, and I did it like how to make a nice grilled chicken breast, and I did it with like the accent. People would tell me like, "Yo, you really need to like put this somewhere." So one night I was sitting in the gym, and I had the app open, and they like just came out with that long face filter, and I was like, "This is perfect." Like, it just giving it to me.
Perfect
So I'm
fit.
like, yeah. So it just was one of those things that sort of made sense. And so the first video I made was less than 15 seconds, and it was like non-Italians when they go out, and it's like, all right, dad, I'll be back in like an hour, and the quote unquote non-Italian dad was like, all right, son, like, see you later. And then I was like, the Italian kid goes, all right, dad, I'm going out, I'll be back. And that's when Pasquale was born. And was like, well, what do you mean you're going out? Where the fuck you going? It's 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. What the fuck you got to do? And so I made it, shut the app off. And then the next morning I woke up to go take a shit, and I opened up the app, and the video had like 2 million views. I was like,
Crazy.
oh, nuts. And so I just kept it rolling from there, man.
Yeah, with TikTok, I feel like when you have a big video like that, you gotta stay on top of it and just keep
Yeah,
shooting
yeah.
after that. Fire away.
Oh
Keep the
yeah.
videos
Like,
going.
I waited 2 weeks to make another video after the first one blew up because I freaked out. Like this was never a plan. Like this,
Right.
what's going on right here? It was never like I'm gonna make the TikToks, I'm gonna get famous, quote unquote, whatever it is, and I'm gonna have all this stuff coming my way. It was just like, I don't know, I think it's funny, I'm gonna post them. And then when it blew up, I kind of like got a little I don't know how you say it, like a hermit crab when he goes under the shell. That's what I
Yeah,
felt.
yeah.
And so I waited 2 weeks out of just like fear because I was getting a lot of hate from like I don't know if you know, but like us Italians were very like proud to be Italian.
Right.
And some people like when the videos first came out, because the video got reposted on a couple of pages on Instagram, and they were like, "Oh, this kid isn't Italian. This kid's like giving us a bad name and stuff like that." So I was like, "Yeah, I didn't know what I'm trying to do. Like, I just thought it was funny." And so that I just was afraid of that like judgment again if I were to like keep posting them. So I did like that's where the no and stuff like that started to happen, just so I could for myself prove to whoever's watching it that like I grow up in it, like I'm Italian. Like I
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was one
so
of my questions I was gonna ask you,
yeah,
did you
yeah.
get bad feedback? But, when you're in the social media world and like, I think it's hysterical. I don't think it's making fun of Italians at all. I think Jersey Shore, I like Jersey Shore too, and people thought that
Yeah.
was, a diss towards Italians. I think it's just like the lifestyle, and especially us, Italian Americans. This is the
Right.
lifestyle, and this is that everyday shit that goes on. So when you could see people carrying out doing it, it just gives a good laugh.
Right. 100%. And that's what I really like try to focus my attention on is like the fact that, at the end of the day, it's comedy. And just to be able to recreate situations that most of us experience growing up in an Italian household, and not only to do
Absolutely.
that, but to be able to relate to people and people to see and be like, that shit happens all the time. It's just like for me, I enjoy doing it. So I think that I've done a pretty good job at being able to like give that message across as not like I'm making fun of the things that go on. It's just like this is what happens, and I think it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you speak Italian, right? I was scrolling back through your TikTok. Your grandmother is pretty fluent in
Yeah. So
Italian.
yeah, my whole like my mom and her side of the family is fluent in Italian. I'm not fluent in Italian. I could understand a lot more than I could speak.
Mhm.
A goal of mine, like down the road when like I have more time, is to be able to actually like sit down and learn it myself. But I'm definitely not fluent, but I can understand a lot. Like I get like I could talk to Nona, but I can't like reciprocate in Italian. I have to like talk to her in English.
Sure, sure. You ever been over to Italy?
Yeah, once when I was very young. I got to go back. It's just amazing over there. Like you really get an appreciation from where you come from when you go back and you see the roots of your family. So yeah, I've been over there, but I don't really remember much of it.
Yeah. I was over there right before the summer before COVID hit. Absolutely beautiful. One of the best trips I've ever been on. We
Oh,
went to
I'm
Rome,
sure.
Amalfi Coast, Sicily, and it
Very
was
nice.
unbelievable. We went back to Sicily and we went like an hour into the country to see my Nona's, you know, family, like OG Roots family that she
Yeah,
had
yeah,
never
yeah.
met before. And we went and they cooked us a big dinner. It was like out of a
Unbelievable.
movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. It really is. It's awesome. It's just so crazy to like see the difference of like the way of living that goes on like
Oh,
in
yeah.
those areas, like in the mountains where you got to drive up. Like I remember one thing I do remember is just like the drive all the way up to the mountain because my family's from
Yep.
Calipari. It's like there's like 500
Okay.
people in the whole town. So we were just like driving up, and I remember like just like a little hut, like it's a shack, and then there's like all these plants and like crops and everything. It's something that I feel like every Italian American, if given the opportunity, should go and definitely to like check it out in the whole country. Like,
Without a doubt. Yeah, I didn't speak I
yeah,
took Italian in high school, and then I took Spanish in college. So I was speaking like a little bit of Spanish or understanding it. It's close,
very
Spanish and
similar.
Italian. So I was able to understand a lot, probably the most out of my family besides my uncle, and be able to communicate back and forth
Yeah,
because they don't know much English over there, especially in
no,
those deep,
oh,
not tourist parts.
oh yeah, and it's so funny too. Like, I remember when I went back then, like I was like 6 years old. I don't know any Italian. So
Yeah.
everything that they would say to me, I would just say like, yeah, like anything. They could have like said hello and I would like just responded like, yes. And like to try and hear them speak English is like a comedy skit in itself. It's
Oh
just like,
yeah.
hello, what is,
Yeah.
como se and then they like try to figure it out and shit
Yeah.
like that. It's great.
I was shook about the food over there. They don't do really chicken parm. They're not big into chicken. They're not big into the
No,
Italian
very
American
Americanized
foods.
chicken.
They
Yeah, no, that like they don't even know what that shit is. Like
yeah.
when you go, they never even heard of it. Like you tell them chicken parm, they're like, ah.
Yeah,
Like they don't know what
no
it is.
idea.
It's crazy.
Some did, and they were kind of like taken back, like they were disrespected that we had asked. It's not like an original Italian, like that's
Right,
not in
right.
their
100%.
culture. And the
Yeah,
wine
no,
too.
it's
I was on a wine bender for a week.
oh, oh yeah.
The
Well,
best
over there, there's
wine.
no drinking age. Over there,
Yeah,
there's no drinking age. So it's like to them, it's not really like over in America, like when you drink before you're 21, it's like this thing. It's like, oh, yeah. Like over there, it's like just like a part of the culture. Like that's just what we do. You know what I mean?
exactly. And if
Uh,
young kids getting fucked up like that, like they understand it better, and there's not a hurry to get drunk because there's not a
exactly,
limit on it.
exactly.
Now, moving back into your side of things, I saw you visit headquarters over at Barstool. Have you ever thought about pairing
Yes.
up with them? And what was that experience like for you?
So that experience was crazy, and it was very early on in like the whole journey and process of whoever like the whole social media thing. So it was just like one of those things where I was like, I couldn't believe I was actually there. But I mean, first of all, shout out everybody that works over there. They're great people. They really are. It's just like a hub for content creators. Like it's just you go there and everyone's doing their thing. They got their own offices and everything like that. So it's really cool if you're in like the content game to like go there and see how they do things. But thoughts on pairing up with them? Listen, I really enjoy the fact that I'm blessed to be able to even like have a contact over there and be able to work with them sporadically and they like share my content and I do things with I've done a lot with like Barstool Game Time and stuff like
Mm,
that. I'm very blessed to be able to even be in that position. But as far as working with them or working for them, I'm really happy being my own boss right now. Like I kind of
yeah,
like the fact that, I can create my own schedule. As busy as it may get, it really is something that's like incredibly special, especially like I'm still in college, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to put all my chips in one, like I don't want to, what do they say? Put all your eggs in
eggs
one
in one
basket.
basket.
I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm very passionate about like a bunch of different things. So, I'm just in a very unique and grateful spot to where like I could work with them, but I don't have to work for them. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with them. But I mean, I shout out to them. They really are just a bunch of great people.
Yeah.
Um,
I know it's everyone's, dream to be their own boss, and you're in a unique situation and you've taken full advantage of it with the ads that you run and all the partnerships that you have.
yeah,
You have a bunch. And I like about your what you do with your skits is you include them, but you don't like overdo the ad and you include
right,
it. So like some people when they do the ad, you could tell these influencers are not into it at all. Like they're
right,
just doing the ad to collect their payday. You include
right.
it into your skit and then you don't even know it's an ad until like the middle of it or when the joke's hitting at the climax. You're like, damn, and then you get hooked on people get
Yeah,
hooked on buying the product.
I appreciate that. I take great pride in my ads for a few reasons. One, because I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I forget that I even make money doing this. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it'll just like hit me. I'm like, wait a second, like this is I'm making money doing this. But for me, it's like I'm not I'm always gonna be a relationship guy, like number one. And the people that I've worked with or the people that I'm currently working with are people that I've reached out to first. A lot of times what ends up happening is the brand will reach out to you and want to work together. And if it's not something I believe in, something I am invested in, or something that I think will provide value to my audience, I'm not going to do it. And that wasn't always that way. Like when you're coming up and you're getting all these opportunities thrown at you, it's very cool and it's very interesting to see.
Sure.
And like I've done a couple of one-offs. Like I just did one for Pringles and I did one for Butterfinger. Um, and while those are great, it's just not, the end goal for me. Like I don't do this. I'm not in this for the money. So I did it to experience it because I was given the opportunity, and I feel like, just to feel it out, to see how it is. But I take great pride in the people that I work with, because I believe in the product, like I said. And for me, they align really good with like my brand, what my mission is, and what I believe in. A good example would be BPN, like the supplement company I work for.
Yep.
I applied to be an ambassador and to work with them 3 times before I got accepted. And like
Oh,
it
wow.
was, yeah, no, I've been following them for a really long time, and I just really like love what they represent and what they put out. And to be able to work with them now is like it's like I'm living in dreamland. Like it's that, but that's what I want. Like that's not like, I'm trying to put it into a way. I'm a big analogies guy. Like I like to
Yeah,
do the
yeah. No,
analogies, but
I hear you. I hear you.
trying to like
I'm
I
following.
believe in the product, I believe in the mission, and to be able to work with them to me is a blessing. And to be able to make money is just a cherry on top. But it's what they preach that I want to translate to my audience because it aligns with what I believe in.
Right.
That's it.
And I think you're such a likable guy too, because you not only do the skits, but you include motivation and you include the weightlifting, and that's a similar audience that we have here. I try and include the motivation, the weightlifting, because that's what guys our age like people are
So
into that
absolutely.
shit, the weightlifting, the motivation, then the comedy. You bring it all together, and it's like
I appreciate
it's a perfect ideal spiel that you got going.
I appreciate you saying that because it validates for me that like I'm doing it the way I want to, and like the way I'm trying to translate to my audience. So the fact that you've recognized that and are telling me means a lot because at the end of the day, man, it's just me. I like it's me and my phone. That's all it is.
Exactly.
I don't I keep it in house. Like I work with my family, and to be able to like just give my audience like the things that I'm passionate about is, and for them to reciprocate and like actually appreciate it and see the realness in it, and like the truth behind it is like, I don't know, like it just sent chills down my spine. It's just like something that's really like fucking awesome. So
Absolutely. And I could tell you take passion, and something I've picked up, with this podcast is the videography. I've been teaching myself the last year. I've been in the YouTube doing the vlogs, really trying to get into that more, like trying to spread my cards out. And I've been going really all in on the YouTube
it's
lately.
awesome.
And the editing has been like the toughest part for me, but to look where I'm at now to where I was is like night and day.
It's
And I look
crazy,
at
right?
your edits, and those, like the Pringles one, the sound effects, the cuts, like fire. Do you do
I
that
appreciate it.
yourself?
Yeah, bro, I did it all myself, self-taught. Like
Let's go.
I'm running the whole shit over here. Like I have like obviously my family helps me out, but yeah, I edit, shoot, like everything. Like it's all been me. And it's been like really, it's been uncomfortable to dive in headfirst into this like sort of world, but like
Of course.
through doing that, like you learn so much, bro. Like you
Oh,
learn
endless.
so much, and it's not just through videography. It's learning how to talk to people, and it's learning how to understand where they're coming from, and try and mutually benefit and see what fits and what doesn't. And it's just been really special, man. But the amount that I tell people all the time, like I feel like I was a kid who doesn't know how to swim, and someone picked me up and threw me in a pool, and I had to figure it out on the spot how to swim. Um, and you really you make a ton of mistakes. Like, bro,
Oh,
I
of
made
course.
I made a mistake on like by forgetting to put this in my calendar to show up. Like it happens all the time, but if you stick with it and you accept the fact that you're not going to be perfect, and you understand that it's a process and it's a marathon, not a sprint, like
Yep.
it's okay to fuck up, man. Like it really is. And I think that's been one of the keys. Not only that, and sorry if I'm going on a rant, but
No, no, I
um,
love it. It's everything I preach. So
yeah,
hearing it like from someone else, is comforting
yeah,
knowing that there's other like-minded people out
oh,
there.
100%.
Yeah, I
That
think, with anything, if you stay consistent, if you're passionate about it,
Yeah.
and you follow through with it, you go through with it, you know, you're going to make mistakes obviously, but when you learn from
Yeah.
those mistakes and you go from not knowing anything, like you said, jumping into a pool and then coming out, like looking back on and see how much you accomplished, there's no better
Yeah.
feeling in the world.
It's unbelievable. I just got chills again. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. It really is. No, it is. It's like, it's so like crazy because you see it all the time. Like you see like these people like preach this formula for success, right? And it all seems like the same regurgitated shit. And like you don't really, it doesn't really hit you and it doesn't really soak in until you're living through it and you're like, hold on a second, like this is really what it
Yep.
is. This is really what it takes. And that's why like BPN, like I always like the CEO Nick Bear was someone who I like really resonated with and like felt like a similarity between like mindset wise, but it's all the same formula. It's just like the way you absorb it and the way like you can, like it's who's giving it to you and what you experience, like that really determines how you translate it to your own life. But like, bro, it's success is, I tell like my dad, I'm like, I feel like success is the easiest formula to understand, but the most difficult to execute
Yeah.
because it
Completely agree.
like you can't like it's so hard to make it. Like it is so hard. And there's so much to learn, but if you just stick with it and you're consistent and you go brick by brick, like I always say, like if you just lay a brick a day, like eventually you're gonna have a house and you build the foundation, then you got the house, and then you could keep adding bricks, keep adding shit. And if you really just focus on today and what you could do today and not think about the long term, because I used to be that guy. Like if I didn't have my results in a month, I was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm doing
Right.
something. And through this process, I've really learned that like it's a marathon, bro. Like
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I talk about that with my buddy all the time. You know, we want the success, and in the day and age we live in, it's like everything needs to be right away. But if you
yeah,
look at all the people who've made it, say sports, business, influencers, anything, it's just they're the ones who just consistently did
just
it
keep
and
going.
never gave up. The
Yeah,
people who make it are just the people who never give up. It's simple as
exactly.
that.
Exactly. And there's like certain talents that like for sports, for example, like, you gotta
Right.
have a gift. But like for something like this, and I tell my boys all the time, like I got a buddy of mine who's a really close friend of mine who does this violin thing on his Instagram. He plays the violin, he does these covers on the violin. He's super talented. And I told him, I was like, yo, do the consistent effort and put in the consistent work
Yep.
without ever anticipating a result. Like literally every day,
Exactly.
just keep doing it. And at some point, things are gonna start to mold, and you're gonna be like, whoa, look at what's happened, because it compounds. Like it just like consistent effort, it compounds into something that you never thought was possible. Like a year ago, if you told me after that one video that I'd be sitting here today with being on this podcast, having this opportunity come my way, I'd be like, you're fucking nuts. But you know,
That's what it
you just
is. Drake
that's what
said, you
happened.
know, you got to separate yourself from the end goal and just live in
Yes.
the moment. You got to get that out of your head sometimes. It is the end goal, but when you get that out and you just live in the moment, you live presently and are engaged in what you're doing, that shit is just slowly adding up, building.
Yes.
And it's going to all come together.
100%.
I wanted to ask you about your skits. So when you're going back and forth, your Pasquale, then your Nick, what do you do, like all of the one Pasquale and then do Nick, or you go back and forth? You do it, pause
I
it, and then
I change the outfits every time.
but you
Every
you
time.
you do like you'll start it off and then you'll go to Pasquale and then you'll go back, or you just
Yeah.
do the whole run
No,
and then
I'll
go
go
to
back and forth.
Pasquale. Oh, back and
Go
forth,
back
pause
and
it.
forth. Yeah. So, for example, the last video I did for Roback with like the guy who got hit in the head with the golf ball,
Yeah, I just watched
I
it.
started
Unreal.
out.
Hysterical.
I
The orange golf
appreciate
ball had
it.
me dying.
Oh, bro. Anyways, the first part is like when he's looking for the ball, he's like, "You find it, Nick?" Like I'll record that part, and then I'll change my shirt, I'll change my hat, and then I'll record the other part, and it's a freestyle. Like I have nothing written down. I just go out there with the outfits, and I just do whatever feels right, and I just make it.
Now, these situations where, like I said, are so spot on. Have you had these encounters with your dad?
Not really. Like I like my dad is nothing like the Pasquale character
Right.
in the way that like he treats like like for example, the golf lessons. Like my dad is not like a prick like Pasquale. Like my dad is the
Yeah.
most loving and just like genuine guy there is. Um, but it's more of like the demeanor, like the stern, like you know what I mean, like the stern demeanor to where it's like this is what you're gonna do, sort of thing, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That is kind of similar to my dad, but the things that Pasquale actually says, not even close. But like the baseball videos and like the sports videos are not experiences that I've experienced with my dad, but like what I've seen from like
Sure.
other parents at travel games and like everyone knows if you grew up on this side
Yeah.
of the country, everyone knows a Pasquale. Like if you grew up in the Middle East, the Northeast, everyone knows a Pasquale.
100%. 100%. Everyone's
You know what
got
I
one in
mean?
their
Like,
town. Everyone's, that's what
yeah,
everyone can
exactly,
relate to the situation.
exactly. And my dad is not the guy that everyone like knows as Pasquale. That he's someone else in my town. But
What did your parents first think of it when this started to really take a snowball effect and grow?
my dad loved it. My dad, first of all, my mom thinks I'm like Brad Pitt. Like she doesn't like she's just like proud of the boy. And then and like sometimes I'll show my mom like a video I've made, and I know that like she doesn't think it's funny, but she'll just laugh anyway.
To give
And
you
I
the
just
fake laugh?
like sometimes I just feel like saying like, "Ma, like if you don't think it's funny, because you know the difference between like a real laugh and
Yeah.
like a you know what I'm saying." So I'm like I feel like saying, "Ma, like, if it's not funny, just let me know." But my dad is the one who really got on me about like take advantage of it, like take
Right.
advantage of the opportunity, seize it. He was like because you could really do something with this here because no one's really doing this sort of style of videos. So take it and just fucking run with it. And I it took me a while to listen to him and really like absorb what he was saying because when you blow up on social media, everyone you've ever known, first of all, hits you up.
Oh,
Second
yeah.
of all these companies reach out, and it's just so much to take in. It's like crazy because I'm also a full time student, so it was just a lot to take in. So like when he would say that, I'd be like, yo, like I'm trying to just like process it all and figure it out. But like one day it just clicked, and ever since it clicked, I just hit the ground running, like put my head down, just here we are.
Love it. That's the mentality you gotta have, and I mean, we're nowhere near your level, and it
But
is
everyone starts somewhere, bro.
exactly, exactly. Rome wasn't built in a day.
I say it all the time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and like your process is your process. It's like I said, it's the same formula. It just there's no telling when it's gonna work, but it's gonna work if you keep doing it. So like,
100%.
yeah, I blew up really fast, but that doesn't mean that you're not gonna be 10 times the size of me in 5 years. Like, there's no hierarchy, bro. We all started at square one.
Yeah. I always tell
And
people not compare themselves to others either, because you see someone who might be in a similar niche or find a similar career, and then they want to be like that person, but you can't expect the same results or the outcomes that they had.
right, 100%. You can't. You got to focus on you, like, and what you're doing. Um, but also like absorb things from the people who have made it. And like
Right.
another big key, and I didn't mean to make this a motivational podcast, but
No, I love it, man. I
like
love it. We get into this
it's
sometimes.
flowing, so mine as well. Like the one thing I've really taken away too is like being a student instead of like thinking you know it all and just
Hmm.
accept the fact that like you don't know shit and try and absorb as much information as you can from everybody and learn instead of think you know it. And if you do that, first of all, it humbles you a lot and it gives you a perspective to where it's like there really is no hierarchy. It's just one person happen to grow faster or has been doing this longer than you, so absorb what you can. So maybe one day get to their level, and then someone's going to be asking you the same thing one day. So that is one benefit of it. And two, it's like it just makes you feel better. Like I don't know, like knowing and understanding that like I don't hold this like image of myself is really like something that I take pride in because like I said a year ago, I was working in a gym. I have
Yeah.
no means at all. I'm going and taking it day by day and see what happens. So I definitely think like being a student of it all really, really is a huge key in like growth and like your success.
You got to be a sponge. You got to absorb all the information you can take. You got to have open ears and sometimes just keep your mouth shut and just take it in.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Wrapping up here, I got 2 more questions for you. This has been great. This is one of my favorites so far, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me.
I had Brooks. I saw Brooks Koepka commented on one of your pictures. Who's been like one of the most crazy celebrities, athletes to hit you up, slide into your DMs, or comment like on some of your
bro?
skits?
First of all, when Brooks commented, I mean, I looked at that shit and I was like, because he tagged his caddy. He tagged his caddy because I like the video, whatever. He was like, oh, it was all my shots are because of so and so, and he tagged his caddy. And when I saw that he commented, I was like, holy shit, like that. But he doesn't even follow me, so I was like, how the hell did he see it? Because it didn't get posted anywhere. But one of the craziest things or celebrities, and I don't really like to name drop, but like it just, you asked a question. I was trying to go into my dermatology appointment. This was 2020, like months ago. And I'm sitting in the car. I got like it was during COVID, so you had to wait outside and they called you in. So I'm sitting in the car and I got a DM from Russ, the rapper.
Wow.
And he goes, bro, in all caps, you are hilarious. And I was like, wait a second. Because I listened to him and I was like, hold on a second. Like, what is this? And I was like, no way. So that one was really crazy. And then just guys like that I've looked up to, like athletes and stuff like that. I don't really want to, name too many names, but just guys like in the baseball world and the football world who I've really like looked up to like follow me and have like conversations with has just been something that's like absolutely incredible. Honestly, the biggest one is the CEO of BPN, Nick Bear. And like, as weird as that may sound, like, I don't give it, like, because he's really played a big role into like my mindset. And I feel like he's one of the main reasons why I'm like sitting here on this podcast today, because I've absorbed so much from him. So to get a follow from him and to like work for his company and to hopefully one day sit down and pick his brain in person is like, I can't really think of a better thing. And like anyone who knows me will tell you that. But yeah, it's been nuts, man.
Those are a few, just to say the least. Hopefully a bunch more down the line.
More collaborations. Listen, I'm not, like there's been some pretty crazy things that have transpired. Do you follow like CrossFit at all?
I don't. I'm not big into it. I know you're a big CrossFit guy.
Well, now I am. I never was, but like I needed to switch. But anyways, Matt Fraser, he's I think he won 4 years in a row or 5 years in a row. Anyways, he sent me a pair. I don't got them here, but he sent me 2 pairs of shoes because you need like the Olympic lifting shoes to do some of the movements, or it helps. Mm-hmm. So he's been following me for a while, and I messaged him like, bro, like what's a good Olympic weightlifting shoe? And he was like, I'll just send you them, because he's a Nike athlete. So he sent me 2 shoes.
Wow.
And like that was nuts. Like that was like, whoa. Like I wrote on it. Like I wrote like the date that I got it sent, like downstairs in my garage. Like one day I'm going to like show my like family, my kids, like, look at what your pops did.
Yeah. Only up from here, man. I'm excited that we were able to get this done. Definitely got to collab in the future. I know I'm not as big, but I would love to maybe throw a YouTube video together with one of your skits, or like do a day in the life type feel. Right.
I got you. Yeah, man. If it works out. I don't want to make any open-ended promises because I'm very busy these past few months. But like I said, if it works, it works.
We wish you the best of luck moving forward.
I mean, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. All right?
Cause I wanna have worth. Working hella hard till they put me in the dirt. Gonna go far, man. Listen to my words. Gonna be a star, man. Life's like a blur when you're working this hard. Yeah, you get what you deserve.